Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Marcus.
Hi, good to have you.
Nice to
A
see you.
real pleasure to have you here. It's going to be a very exciting interview because you have a very exciting brand and a very exciting development. Yeah, so today we're just going to talk a little bit about your experience, like how it was before, like what you tried in terms of paid ads before, and what your let's say journey with me over the last couple of weeks was like, so that others that may be in this position or maybe looking for something also, yeah, can learn a little bit about how
Perfect.
the real paid ads world is looking like. So yeah, please introduce yourself and
Okay,
briefly describe a little bit your e-commerce business, what you're doing, and then we start there.
awesome. So my name is Amanda Schuler. I'm the founder of Ember Wellness. So we are a clean skincare brand based in Toronto, Canada. And what we have really started to be known for is solid beauty. So people get a little bit confused about what solid beauty is, but essentially what it is mainly solid moisturizing bars. So they're waterless, they're portable, they're easy to travel with. You just warm them up in the palm of your hand and then rub them on your face, which kind of makes moisturizing your skin really kind of a lovely experience. And ours are sort of shaped as like a sculpting tool or like a gua sha. So they're a little bit different. We like to say it's the first of its kind, the design overall. And it's actually a design patent pending design. So yeah, overall, that's who we are. We also do have some liquid products as well. But I guess the coolest part about working with you, maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but it's just that we were able to ascertain that we had a hero product in our serum bar, which is the solid moisturizing bar. And we were able to kind of zero in on that as our primary offer to the customer. Bye, honey. Bye. Sorry. See you later. And yeah, so I think before working with
Yeah.
you, we
Hmm.
had tried a lot of things. It was just kind of like throwing things at the wall,
Hmm.
creating unique, still ads and what have you. We had worked with another consultant where everything was sort of like a little bit hidden behind the curtains. And so we didn't really have visibility about what it was that they were doing. And some of the things were working okay, but it wasn't until working with you, really kind of understanding and being you kind of empowering us and putting us in the driver's seat that we really started to understand the data better, how to be accountable for the data, how to look at the data on a regular basis, because of course we're all so busy. But I think just having that weekly meeting with you makes us accountable for looking at these very important metrics regularly, where we weren't doing that before. And then again, zeroing in on that hero product, um, testing ads in a very kind of methodical fashion, and then finding something that for our brand worked.
Yeah.
And it just was really exciting when we found that one sort of style of ad that worked.
Hmm. Yeah. Great. I mean, yeah, you already touched on a couple of very interesting points, like the way to test ads, the importance of finding a hero product, and we're going to go into this a little bit more in detail later, but essentially also testing different ones, which you also did just to have confirmation of what's the best way to get customers in. And then obviously looking at the numbers and understanding the numbers a little bit better. So
Yeah.
when we're talking about before that, just a little bit longer, like what were the challenges that you were facing? Like what did you want to achieve, and what were the challenges that you had in terms of making paid ads work, let's say?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, there are numerous challenges.
Hmm.
it was, the heart of it was that it was, we had this pool of great products in our
Mhm.
collection, and we didn't know which one of those products was that first time offer, and which one of those was worth kind of shouting from the rooftops.
Mhm.
And so before we tried a little bit of everything,
Mhm.
and as we know, a little bit of everything doesn't work. We also we we just didn't do it the way that we learned from you.
Mhm.
So we were targeting in weird ways. We were um, you know, I did not know anything about the ads manager, about Triple Whale, about, again, like, I mean, I knew the basics like ROAS and
Yeah.
stuff, but
Mhm.
now these are things that we talk about regularly, and we've learned from you. So yeah, again, also the visibility, like before we had no visibility
Mhm.
when we had worked with other people.
Mhm.
I think what you offer with really, you're kind of helping us drive the car
Yeah.
rather than, um, you're driving the car and we're in the back seat watching you.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I feel like that is like the key difference
Yeah.
between what we've experienced in the past, which also didn't work. It sort of worked,
Mhm.
but now working with
Yeah.
you, we've been able to grow and start to scale, and that's what's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's very, yeah, very interesting that um, that we're talking about this because this is really, as you say, it's the key. For you as a brand owner, like I'm a brand owner myself, and if you don't really own this process, which is so essential and which can literally turn your business around, right? Like in your case, it can 5x, 3x your business.
yeah,
And if you don't understand, even if somebody else is doing it, but you don't really understand it, it's a liability, right? Because you don't really understand, you cannot really control it, right?
it's so
Yeah.
true.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I mean, then, not that we won't continue working with you,
Yeah.
but we feel that we have a much better idea of how we can create our own ads,
Yeah.
moving forward. But I do find that on a weekly basis when we meet, you do offer insight,
Mm.
that we wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah.
So it's just, there's additional added value there as well, as kind
Yeah.
of being empowered to know what to look for and how to read the numbers.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Because it brings you now you're more in a position where you can say, and this can happen, potentially in the future, you say, okay, we just need more creatives of some sort, right? Of
right.
some type. That's fine, right? And it's easy then to say and to guide those people, if it's an
Yeah,
agency, for example, on what you're looking for specifically, right?
yeah,
At the same time, yeah, as you see now, it's not only about some ads to get some ads running in the beginning, but now there's new bottlenecks in every stage that we get to, be it supply chain or be it, the back end monetization. So there's always something to talk about. Yeah, that's true.
it's very true.
Um, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, can you describe a little bit your experience like up until now? I think it's like how many months? 2, 3 months, hopefully.
Yeah, I think we're,
Not even
I
three.
think we're like 3 months, maybe
Three
three
months, maybe.
months.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe 3 months.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it was great sort of like starting
Mhm.
from scratch with you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, you know, opening up, we start always with, let's look at the data for the last 7 days.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
Mhm.
What has changed? What's improving? What isn't doing as well?
Yeah.
And then, taking action from there.
Mhm.
That's sort of like, I guess like the first way of starting with you that
Mhm.
was cool, and what changed,
Yeah.
from previous experiences. Um, and then experimenting, going through that testing phase where we
Yeah. Mhm.
experimented with a bunch of different creatives
Mm-hmm.
and seeing, kind of methodically which ones resonated with our customer base.
Yeah.
And then saying, okay, well, wait, that's not necessarily working.
Mm-hmm.
And then not giving up and saying, okay, well, why don't we try
Yeah.
X,
Mm-hmm.
which in our case was the founder ad. And
Yeah,
then,
sure.
creating that content, which took
Mm-hmm.
funny enough, like 5 minutes, that our winning ad. Well, for me to record it, and then
A little
I'm
bit
sure Jesse took a
more.
lot longer to
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
but it's funny how that's the ad that kind of resonated and started converting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think we would have got there if we hadn't have met you and started working
Mm-hmm.
with you,
Mm-hmm.
because we wouldn't have zeroed in. And we zeroed in really quickly
Yeah.
on that ad style
Yeah.
and that particular ad. It kind of was kismet when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, yeah, essentially, as you described, like first we started to test messages as we always do, like just to find out, okay, what's the angle really that works? And then we're always looking for this top of funnel ad that brings in new people and converts at the same time. And you knocked it out of the park right away, right? With this first ad.
It was
But
great.
that's, yeah, it's great. And it shows also that why this founder ad is working, especially in your case, it's because it's super authentic, right?
Yeah.
And people just resonate with what you're telling them in that case. Exactly. So, okay, we found this, let's say, winning ad style.
Yeah.
What were the other things? Like, what did we do then to scale essentially?
Yeah. So I think once we found that, it was about kind of optimizing, right?
Mhm.
Optimizing that particular ad
Yeah.
and continuing to, put money into the ad, to drive conversions and continue to monitor our customer acquisition costs to make sure we were, hitting the numbers, our budget per customer,
Mhm.
and to see what the average order value was, and allowing us to scale
Yeah.
the spend,
Mhm.
right? And just every week adding more and more and more to that spend. It's
Mm.
kind of like, I think it was Amy from Palm who said, like, putting money into a slot machine and the money coming out. And you're like, okay, this is really funny.
This
This is
one,
really
exactly.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing when that happens.
Yeah.
And then the potential. So now we're in
Mm.
unfortunately, the bit of a bottleneck. We're out of stock, which we
Which
didn't
is
foresee
which is great,
happening.
and it's also not great. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But we'll be back in stock soon.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I hope I answered your question. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
was like taking that winning creative and then
Mhm.
figuring out how to scale it,
Yeah.
or weekly scaling
Mhm.
that, and
Yeah.
then also looking at, okay, what iterations could we
Mhm.
do
Mhm.
to continue to play off that original content.
Mhm.
And I think that's what I'm really excited about for the future.
Mhm.
Like what we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
being able to add maybe UGC to the founder
Mhm.
ad, or
Mhm.
add multiple UGCs to the
Yeah.
founder ad, or, all of a sudden the possibilities for content just seem very logical.
Mhm. Yeah.
Again, versus before, we wouldn't know what to
Yeah.
throw at Meta. Now
The
it's like,
meta.
okay, no, we know exactly what approach to take. The other thing I like that you said last week is like how you can take like the founder ad or
Mhm.
whatever ad is working for that particular brand,
Mhm.
but then it's good to have like a secondary ad
Mhm.
that supports it. It might be a review, or it might
Yeah.
be a features and benefits still ad.
Mhm.
And then maybe a UGC ad that further supports it. So I think
Mhm.
that is that's something I'm kind of looking forward to kind of moving into.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. I mean, essentially to find the content mix that works for your brand specifically, right? In your case, you found this founder ad and you have the capabilities and the skills to do amazing founder ads. So then it's about, and they convert. So then it's about just filling the content gaps, so to say, so that we convert even more people of the ones that interact with the brand. So yeah, that's really great to see. And yeah, also you talked about the scaling essentially. How did that feel? Like once you found this ad and you saw the like you saw the revenue coming in, like how did that feel?
It was the best thing ever, honestly. Like,
Uh,
I kind of feel like I truly believe that it wasn't possible given what we went through.
mhm,
And then having you recommended by some of my female founder friends, and then starting to work with you, and then finding that ad, and then scaling, and then seeing, wow, you know, you're like, I literally can't believe this is happening.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a very cool feeling.
yeah.
It's the best feeling.
That's silly.
Yeah, it's the best
Yeah,
feeling. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, especially with all everything that you went through before, and the more things you try that don't work, the less you believe that it's actually possible. But at the
It's
same
so
time, you
true.
see other brands and you hear from other brands, oh, it's working like crazy, we're scaling. So it's yeah, it's more about the approach. And obviously, what I have to say in your case and also in the case of the others that are scaling, you have amazing products, right? That's
Yeah,
something
you
that
need,
you
that's
have
the
to have.
basic
Yeah,
basis, right? If
yeah,
you don't have a good product, then
yeah,
you can, I guess you can convert people one time, but they'll not have no lifetime value.
yeah.
So there's that game,
Mhm.
but we're not in that game, right? We want to
Yeah,
have the long-term customer.
yeah.
But yeah, it's really neat.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so can you share some like results or that you've achieved since implementing all of these strategies roughly just so that people
Yeah.
have an idea. Mhm,
Yeah. So, I mean, not very long ago, once we figured out that ad, that was like last month.
mhm,
So crazy how quickly it all happened.
mhm,
But we were up like 300% in sales, and then some days up 500% in sales.
mhm,
So that is obviously pretty extraordinary. And then I think even our average order value went up, which is great as we started to bundle products together with your advice.
yeah,
So I think coming up with that offer and
yeah,
then bundling that offer really helped us scale and grow.
mhm,
And yeah, I mean, we had a budget of a certain customer acquisition cost, which I felt like we were very much in line with keeping
mhm,
in.
mhm.
So yeah, I'm really happy with the results so far.
Yeah,
And
amazing.
I think that it's just going to continue to grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, as you said, you're out of stock currently,
Yeah.
but working on that obviously, and then you'll be back in stock soon, and then yeah, we can scale even further. We just really started, so that's great to
Really.
see.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit about like beyond business growth, let's say, like how has this experience so far impacted you like professionally, personally? Like what did you learn
Mm.
through going through this, right?
It's a good question. Like, definitely, well, you kind of realize, like you were saying earlier, when you see other companies
Hmm.
succeeding, and then you're kind of like, well, why is this not working
Hmm.
for me? I'm putting in the time and I'm working really hard. So there was definitely an immense feeling of like gratitude and like happiness personally
Hmm.
about that. And then like a lot of like gratitude to like other female founder friends that recommended
Yeah.
you, and knowing that like they paid it forward and that I will continue to pay it forward with my professional network
Hmm.
and let them know about you, so they too can scale. And yeah, professionally, no major impacts, I guess, that I can think of, but definitely personally felt a lot of gratitude to finally be in a place where, I feel like, wow, this is a business that has a ton of legs, and the potential is like pretty much limitless right now.
Limitless. Yeah.
And I'm talking just D2C. I'm not talking about the B2B side. So it's really exciting
to
have that lever.
Yeah, exactly. That excitement, and also being like having control over it. I think
Oh my
that's
gosh.
really,
Yeah. Having the control, being able to, like, literally, it's like putting your foot on the gas or like slightly going into neutral or whatever. Like you have control over how much money you want to make.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, as a business owner, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
And that gives you a lot of freedom and decision making, and yeah, just amazing. It lets you dream again. I think that's
Yeah.
also something that you mentioned, right? To look into the future, and you see the brand completely different in 1 year from now or 2 years from now. Those numbers
Totally.
change completely, right?
Yeah. I see the value of the brand, you know, what it's worth now.
Yeah,
And then I do look at like the monthly revenue targets in a different way, like
in a different
completely
way.
different way,
Yeah, yeah,
which is awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, maybe last question. What advice would you give someone that is, maybe in a similar position as you were before, and not really sure, if he or she should join, something like this? Like, what advice would you give that person?
I would say definitely it's 100% worth trying, working with you specifically.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if I would recommend anyone else except for you because I have experience with you.
Mhm.
Um, but I do know as founders, we try a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
throw money at a lot of different opportunities.
Mhm.
Um, but this is an opportunity that you must take because you will, with time, you have
Mhm.
to give it some time. You're not going to
Yeah.
get results in the first week or 2 weeks,
Yeah.
but quickly you will see
Mhm.
results, and then you'll be off to the races. So yeah, I would say definitely, if you were in that position and you're not sure what to do, this is by far the easiest decision you'll ever make, like jumping on board with this way of doing it.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Great to hear. Also,
Yeah.
at this point, I have to say you really wanted to learn, right? And you really want to learn, right? You want
Yeah.
to understand things. You're asking a lot of questions, you and Jesse, and you're really keen on implementing things. And yeah, that's the right mindset. And yeah, that's why I see that it's just the beginning. Like, there's a lot of stuff to do for
There
us.
is. Yeah. I can't wait. I
Yeah,
can't
me
wait to
too.
continue. Yeah.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. I can't wait.
Thank you. No, it's been such a pleasure
Hmm.
working with you, honestly, Marcus.
Hmm.
It's been a highlight, a true highlight of this entrepreneurial venture. Honestly, it's been great. And
Great.
I don't know where we would be without you, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing to hear that.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for your time. And thank you for helping others to get a look behind the curtain. And yeah, we'll chat again next week.
Sounds good. Perfect. Thank you. Peace.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.